Great.
So the camera cut off before we actually got to complete our episode of the Jewish Refrigerator, which nobody knows about, and we're going live right now, so this is a big deal.
That's exciting.
Very exciting. This was not planned. We were going to edit this, put this out in a calculated way.
There will be an editing coming, but not on Facebook Live.
Yeah, so I hope everyone's going to enjoy this. We started the show talking about the idea of how people have kind of forsaken their privacy in order to put out either vulnerability or like something about themselves that they wouldn't have otherwise done, and how that's evolved over the years and what Jewish thought is about that. But now we've taken like an entirely new turn that's super exciting, so that's why I really wanted to capture it.
This is exercise therapy.
Exercise therapy. So Rabbi Rupp was saying how he feels like he works out far more than other Orthodox Jews,
Probably,
safe to say.
Yeah.
And right now, you're working on, just building yourself up, whatever the technical terms are about that.
Yeah, that's a good way to make it sound weird. Yeah.
So I'm fascinated by this because he's married. He's happily married to a wonderful woman who I'm friends with. What's up, Julie?
Hello.
And 4 kids who are great. And like, why? Why put yourself through it? 5 o'clock wake-up call?
What is 5? So we're looking at usually, again, hopefully, anyone that ever looks at employing me for anything that's actually productive labor would not be turned off by this. But I work out probably, between it's usually about an hour and a half to 2 hour commitment a day, meaning that there's about an hour workout, and then the getting to it and everything like that. I do that usually 5 times a week, 6 times a week sometimes.
And one of the things you mentioned was like it's measurable success, and you feel like you're actually accomplishing something,
which is great,
which is fine. I buy it, but there's got to be more to it than that.
The question is the vanity issue. That's where we really got to. That's the whole principle of why would a guy who's married with children keep working out?
Yes, especially a rabbi who values the internal bodybuilding.
Right. I think that's kind of where we break. That's kind of where we break down, and people don't see a value. Okay, so like, what's the question? The question is, is health important?
Okay.
Is health important? Most people could care less.
Most people say health is important.
Most people aren't going to do the work, right?
Jogging for 30 minutes is different than bodybuilding for 2 hours a day.
First of all, if you're a man, I think even if you're a woman, the idea of resistance training and weightlifting is very, very important. And most people completely downplay that because, I don't want to look too bulky. I talk to all kinds of people, I don't want to, women, or I don't want to look too bulky. How about you try to lift so you can actually lose a couple of pounds as opposed to looking so bulky? We're always concerned. It's like, in any endeavor, we're always afraid, like, worst case scenario, your storage is almost full.
Stinks. Okay.
Yeah. The reality is there's nothing wrong looking bulky. Most people aren't bulky. Women's bodies are going to be smaller and more toned than men are. Men are going to have more bulky bodies, but what's the problem with looking fit?
Who cares?
Who cares?
Who cares?
So why shouldn't we care?
Why should you care if your back is X number of inches or X plus 2 number of inches?
Because ultimately I think we're trying to build, just like people could say who cares about spirituality, we're trying to build, there's this putting in measurable goals. Depending on your type of fitness, everyone has different types of fitness. Some people want to be able to run longer. Some people want to be able to lift more weight. Some people want to look a certain way. So why is it for me that looking a certain way is important? I think it stems back to how I was raised. Being fat my whole life, I never had people that looked at me and said, "Oh, wow, you're super fit." And so now when people are like, "Oh, are you a runner? Oh, are you a bodybuilder? Oh, are you X, Y, and Z?" I'm like, wow, that's all. I mean, I get the same thing when people are like, "Oh, you weren't religious your whole life," So there's a.
But have you taken your religion to that level?
My rabbi told me he put on a couple pounds, and so I never point this out because I know people are very uncomfortable with this. But I pointed out, he first of all, it always comes to me. I'm sitting there doing whatever, and someone's like, "Oh, I gotta lose weight," or X, Y, and Z. So what happens always is, when people know you're in this space, they bring their own problems to you. I was just talking about how I'm a relationship empowerment coach, and I have all these single Jewish women that come and say, "Well, can you help find a guy, for me?" And I wasn't asking them, but people know you're in this space, so I have this problem X with men. Okay, so my rabbi said, I have to lose weight. I said, okay, so I said, can we help? He said, it's very hard for me to give up cake. I said, okay, well, cake, who's eating cake? But then he said, I care about weight loss like you care about being a Talmud Chacham. Like, if I really cared about it, I would do it. And so that was very intense. Mostly for me.
Yeah. In other words, the fact that you value
I value our
a
looks.
certain vanity,
Yeah, and it's for me.
that's a problem
And it's for me.
Judaism.
Why is there a problem for Judaism?
Because Judaism says that
we should be fat and
no,
shapeless.
there's a big difference between healthy and like and active and eating healthy and being active.
The people that are people that are, but these people, again, I don't want to, the you people type people.
Yeah.
But those people are not healthy either.
Agreed.
Everyone who's talking
There's
about,
a
well,
problem.
it's the vanity thing. Yeah, you try going to gym for
Totally agree
for 15 minutes.
Okay, well,
Or
I
try
don't think
to
they go to
try,
jujitsu.
try to
They could
jujitsu-
run to synagogue instead of walk.
They're not going to run to synagogue. They're not going to walk to synagogue. They're going to drive to synagogue. They're going to eat their kugel and they're going to eat their cake and they're going to, and again, that's the thing that these people.
So you're right. Judaism, particularly Orthodox Jewish people, need to really look at what we're eating and what our Shabbat menus look like. We need to do that. There's a
I don't
problem.
even care. I love bad food on
problem,
Shabbat because I work out also.
But you're pointing out a problem in Orthodox Judaism, but you're not addressing what we're talking about, which is the other side of it.
What?
Extremism on the other side.
I don't think it's extremism.
Extremism on either side is no good.
I'm walking.
2 hours a day of bodybuilding is no good.
I'm not. Again, you have to take into account that everything takes more time than we expect, right? So there's the issue of driving to the gym because I can't work out at home because
Okay.
it's too difficult, right?
Yeah.
So I have to drive, and you have to shower because that's nice.
Right,
after you work out.
So forget the time. Just the idea of trying to like build. Can I mention again the book you posted already? Building your back 2 inches more. That idea to me is like a vain goal, right?
I think it's called a goal. I think it's called a goal in fitness.
An image goal.
Well, the image comes at the cost of a lot of really intense work. I have to watch my diet because if you have too much fat on your muscles, it's not going to matter how big your muscles are, and I have to tailor my activities to working on a weak spot of my body.
So to you, it's just a symbol of the real work behind it.
I mean, the idea is with everything, and if you speak to people that are good in anything, you ask a guy who's learning, do you have to learn that much more? Do you have to memorize it? Do you have to do it that? The answer is, I have reached a point where I'm not just showing up, but now I'm trying to get excellent. If that makes sense. There's a certain, it's like with teachers. When I was teaching, and I love teaching, but I'm not meant to be a high school teacher. But a rabbi of mine, an inspiration of mine, the head of our school, he's an amazing teacher. And so he invests his time, even the head of the school here, Rabbi Cohen, is going and getting, and Rabbi, I'm saying just speaking specifically for Rabbi Cohen and Rabbi Weiser, of what I know that I'm sorry, not the other way. Rabbi Adato and Rabbi Weiser are both actively pursuing higher level education degrees because they love what they're doing. They're already good.
Yes.
But for me, I wasn't good at that. Because so you say, well, you already have a job, you're already a prominent head of a school, or head of a prominent school.
Why
you already got the job, man.
Yeah.
So I want to get more excellent. Not necessarily because they even want to switch schools.
So do you think that Judaism supports your desire to get more excellent in fitness? Is there ever a point, let me say it a different way, is there ever a point where it's overboard or excessive, and if so, when?
I think that, one of the basic principles that I just read in Brene Brown's book, which is the Jewish concept. She's not Jewish.
Are you getting on like a percentage every time someone
no,
buys the book?
I wish. She sells a lot of books. But this idea of self-love and this idea of feeling good about yourself, and that being the premise of all of the relationships that you're able to have with everybody else.
Okay.
And when, we have to, this is such an important lesson for life, which now I'm very happy it's live for this. You have to find the points in your life. Rav Nachman talks about this. Rav Nachman Breslov talks about this. I definitely don't get credit for every book that they sell, even though I was writing columns for them at one point. But the idea is you have to find your good points.
Okay.
So one of the things Rav Nachman says is that a Jewish person is never supposed to get depressed because you can think about the fact that you're Jewish. And I'm like, okay, well, that's not helpful, right? I mean, meaning like that's so basic. Like he said, did you put on tefillin today? I'm thinking to myself, I'm a loser because I don't learn that much, and my learning is not so good. And I give a good class, but I can't really make my way, in a really good, meaningful way through a Tosfos like I would love to do. Like I look at people who can do it, and I'm so impressed by that.
Okay.
Right? So I look at my learning a lot of times, and I feel kind of bad about myself.
Okay.
And Rav Nachman talks about you have to find the points of your life that you're doing well, and you have to build those up, and those will give you the strength and the courage, necessarily than twisting yourself in a pretzel in another area, right? To try to be excellent in certain areas, so you realize that you have the capacity for excellence.
Okay, so you didn't answer my question though, which is, at what point does it get overboard?
I'm not a rabbi. I don't know. I am a rabbi, but I'm saying I'm not.
You're a rabbi, and not only that, but you have like an inside scoop.
My rabbis have never told me work out less.
Okay, fine. So let's not talk about you. Where would a person go that it would be too much?
It's detrimental. It's taking away from his other activities. Right.
Okay.
Meaning that I think with most things, the things we love and we care about, we find time to do it.
Okay.
And so
unless it stops functioning in other areas of your life, it's not
when
too much.
Again, I'm not gonna, I'm very generous with my wife now, thank God, is also very into fitness, and when she wants to work out, I let her go work out. I do it
You're
at later
supportive of
times.
each other.
We're super supportive of each other, but I think that rather than say,
So it's really not about the image, it's not about vanity, it's about building
it is about the image and the vanity also. That's no problem, because I think that, again, going back, do you feel good about yourself? How many people in our community feel great about themselves when they put on clothes, when they go out? Like, how many of us are hiding when we sit down? It's a huge problem. It's a huge problem. Not, again, if you don't care, and that was an interesting thing. I had a discussion with someone. She told me that most men just don't care about being fat.
That's not true.
Right? I said it's not true, but she's from the East Coast. And she says on the East Coast people are just happy being fat. I'm like, okay, I don't get it.
I don't think that's true.
You're from
it's California.
Okay, so California maybe not. The East Coast maybe so.
I'm married to a guy from Atlanta, and he cares about being overweight or not.
Okay, but the point is, I guess if you don't care, that's one thing. If you genuinely are fine being fat, then we worry, maybe you're gonna get heart disease, you're gonna die.
Yeah.
At which point, just buy some nice life insurance, which is a service we can help you with also. But if it bothers you, then you should be doing things to change it. That's the point.
Okay.
And so it definitely bothered me. My self-esteem has been for a long time growing up in the trash because I was fat. And so.
And it wasn't enough for you to just sort of slim down and get a bit muscular. You really wanted to take it to the next level.
I'm saying, but when is it enough? When
is it enough?
The answer is it's never enough. It's an avoda. It's a work.
So let me ask you a question. If I was sitting here and telling you that I was very interested in accumulating a lot of money.
Yeah.
My battery's low. Great. If I was interested in accumulating a lot of money, at what point would it be too much, my investment in accumulating a lot of money? Or would there be no end?
I think that's one of the fascinating things that we always talk about with people that make more money, that, when people make money, no one ever feels like they're rich. They're always like, well, this guy's rich. So the question is, what are you doing with your money?
So there's no such thing as balance? No.
I'm not so into the balance thing.
Okay.
I think that if you're excellent at something, if you're good at something, and you can help other people be good at something like that. I mean, I'm happy to be that guy. Again, there was a woman that works in my organization that talks about how she likes to be that frum woman that dresses nice.
Okay.
And I'm like, cool, that's her thing. I like to be that Jewish guy that's in shape.
Okay.
And not just like,
Are you getting text messages saying stop
skinny?
what you're doing?
No,
This is horrible.
not really.
Okay.
But more than that,
how are you guys liking this conversation? Please comment below and let us know what your thoughts are. If you're watching, I see a few people are.
Yeah, I don't think you can see the
I
comments.
can't see their comments right now.
But I guess the point being that whatever we're really good at, why should we stop doing that? Why shouldn't we try to achieve excellence and devote time, because we're genuinely enjoying it? I love outreach. I love talking to other Jews. I should stop doing that because I talk to 5 people. The answer is, if I have the opportunity, I'm good at it, so keep doing it.
So the Torah does talk about this idea of bittul zman, wasting time, and that the Torah, learning Torah is what we should be busy with.
Yeah, but let's say
possible.
Okay, but
so when you're done making enough money to live,
realistically speaking, the people that are, I don't think that many people are on that level where they're just going to sit there and they're going to watch reruns of whatever you want. Again, if the guy could be learning, I'm not going to be learning in that time. Okay. I'm not going to be doing it. So I'm going to sit around. Okay. I'm going to eat cake, or I can go to the gym. You know what I'm saying? So or a guy that's phenomenally successful financially, maybe he would be learning. Okay. And if he would be learning, then he should maybe start learning.
Have you ever heard of chorban nefesh, binyan aguf, chorban nefesh? Right? Is that what the expression is? You build up the soul, you destroy the body. You build up the body, you destroy the soul.
Yeah.
What's that? How do you reconcile that? It just doesn't appeal. It
It's,
just
it
it's
doesn't
not relevant
it
to you.
doesn't, it's not, it doesn't bother me because what I realistically know from my own life
Yeah.
is that if I'm not working out, I'm gonna be much more irritable, I'm gonna be much more frustrated, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna feel good about myself.
So just so I'm clear, I don't challenge the idea of, I think exercising every day is a great, great thing. I'm more challenging the point of having goals that mean, that's all about, like, that's really revolving around vanity and looking in a certain way. It's okay to be slender, it's okay to be healthy, it's okay to be fit.
Slender, who wants to be slender? If you can be
Whatever, it's
muscular.
okay to be super muscular.
Right.
But
Really?
like, that your
'Cause that
veins
takes
have
work.
to be
That
popping out.
takes work. That-
Or even, I don't know what super muscular, it's okay to be muscular, but super muscular, like, why?
I'm saying if a person wants to be, excellent in an area, and that's what gives them joy, you know, again,
That's the overarching
I hate
principle
to,
of all
that's
things.
that's what I'm looking at as I'm
Uh-huh.
saying right now. You know, again, I do my trainer, who I think is awesome.
Yeah.
I said, how much do you work out to look like the way you do? He works out 3 hours a day. I can't do that. I'm not gonna do that.
Okay,
I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
I do have my own boundaries.
right.
So my
everyone
boundaries.
has to be honest with themselves about their, what
Yeah, I mean, I
makes sense for them.
could theoretically do it, but I'm not willing to do it because
Right.
I have
So
to
as
pay,
long as you can
know.
honestly look yourself in the mirror and say, this is healthy for me, then you're okay.
Yeah, I'm saying like
Okay.
who's I think the important lesson is, you know, one of the things that really crushed me when I went to yeshiva was that my rabbi, I have huge calves and like inspiring, bigger than Arnold's, like honestly. And my rabbi looked at me and he said, you know, more for the worms to eat. And I was like, yeah, more for the worms to eat. I'm a bad person because I work out. And I really felt that. And I was really depressed about that for a really long time.
Okay.
But the reality is that that's kind of part of who I am. And part of who I am is I like working out. And maybe my soul will not have big calves after 120. But the reality is that I'm a better person. I'm a more adjusted person. I'm a more focused person. I'm a more
Self-discipline.
self-disciplined person. And I can apply those strategies that I got there to every other part of my life from this.
If you want to work out with Rabbi Rep, he is available.
I'm not so available to do that. I'm actually very busy, so it would be very expensive if you want to work out for me, at which point you should just hire a trainer because they're better for you. But
And you're also a life coach. Okay, we have to end this episode.
Thank you.
We were not planning on going live. I hope you enjoyed it. Please do give us
I
feedback.
think people really enjoyed this.
We were,
I enjoyed this.
Yeah, I enjoyed
It's
it
usually
too.
all that matters.
We were going to edit it and put it out, but it was raw and uncut.
Sure,
Hope you
sure.
liked it. Bye.
That was excellent.
It-
Okay. No, my wife called twice. No, you don't.
No?
I don't think so.
No, okay.
Once you close the window,
This is your most commented live event yet.
people comment. That's nice.
I enjoyed Ellis.